how do you go about the personal statement process when you're working with clients? What do you recommend? Where do you start? Maybe Gabriella will go to you and then over to Elijah.
Yeah, so the personal statement is really somewhere that you can stand out. When I worked with previous clients that have been accepted, their first cycle before they worked with me, they were not accepted. And when they started working with me, we took a peek at their personal statement, and I realized this was probably where their application was failing because they were excelling in all the other categories. Your personal statement is a chance to kind of create your own personal brand, kind of what Elijah was saying earlier. What do you want to bring to medicine? And every single person wants to help people. Everyone wants to serve in medicine. But the way I approached my personal statement and the people that I have helped is what experiences along the way have shown you the realities of medicine, first of all, and why do you still want to pursue a career in medicine? Because medicine is not always, just saving lives, hunky dory, things are great. Like, there is a difficult side of medicine. There is loss of life, and things don't always work out. And so I think being able to show that through shadowing and different experiences, you have also seen this difficult side of medicine, and kind of how you want to approach that and why you still have an interest in medicine is a great way to let yourself stand out. Because a lot of students are just like, have this rose-colored glasses, medicine's amazing, I'm going to save lives, I can't wait to do this, but that's not the reality, and it just shows maybe that they're out of touch a little bit. So I feel like that's what will make you stand out, is kind of a realistic viewpoint of medicine with experiences to back it up.
It's great. Elijah, anything you'd add on that?
Yeah, just like Gabrielle said, it's passion married to reality, right? So you want to show that you're going to be someone who stand out, who's going to show up on the hard days, but also who recognizes that there will be hard days, right? I would say, there's kind of two camps of people that I would speak to. If you're good at journaling, go back and start reading your journals. And if you're bad at journaling, start journaling, because like the way you can really ultimately, when it comes down to this, start thinking about how you're going to encapsulate yourself in a page and a half, is just start jotting things down that are impactful to you, or that, when you get excited about medicine, when you have a moment that you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do, like create a running note in your phone that then you can go back and refer to when you sit down to write this, so that you actually can like draw on these things rather than just sort of vague statements of, I'm going to be so good at this and I love this, right? Just have some more concrete things. That's all I would add, is start putting down some concrete things no matter where you are in the process.
Yeah, that's great. I've heard a lot of different perspectives on personal statement writing. It seems, I think across the board, you have to make this personal, authentic, genuine. There's a lot of different ways that you can go about this. I've heard some people will, they'll make a list of the 5 most important stories or experiences that they think made them different, and the 5 most distinct personality traits that make them different, and then they kind of figure out which ones they're going to talk about and how they weave them together. There's all sorts of different exercises. Maybe just to wrap this one up, Matthew, when you're working with clients on personal statement, what's like the general process that you think through or go through with them?
Yeah, I think for me, I encourage people to brainstorm at least 2 or 3 or 4 stories that have really compelled them to pursue medicine as a career. I think that's probably the theme and the topic that people should write about. You're applying to medical school, you probably should write somewhere in there about why you want to be a doctor. And most people have 2 or 3 or 4 specific concrete experiences that they can draw on that really have compelled them to become a physician. And if you can't think of that off the top of your head, that's what the idea of brainstorming with a coach or with a friend is for. There is value in that. Not everybody has the luxury of having what I would term exotic stories to share about a personal statement, and that's totally fine. The vast, overwhelming majority of people that apply to medical school are normal, ordinary people. They are not, necessarily immigrants from another country. They are not people that have fled the Rwandan genocide. They are not people that are Olympic athletes. They are not people that, have these exotic stories. Have I read personal statements from my clients about these things? Absolutely. And do these people get into great programs? Yes, but that's not necessarily what makes them get into a great school. I have had repeat clients, meaning they have applied to medical school the first time around and not been successful, and then sign up for coaching, that are like that. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the personal statement and that experience that they had, that's not really what gets them into medical school. I think what makes a stellar personal statement is the quality of writing. My strongest recommendation for those of you who are still in college and still have the chance to take classes is sign up for a writing class. Really learn how to write well. When I work with my clients, I give them the analogy that this is exactly like reading the news. We all know what quality journalism looks like. There's a reason why we gravitate towards, and this is an apolitical comment, but the New York Times, the Atlantic, these are, and there's a reason why these groups win awards for their writing, is the quality of writing. It's all on the same topic. Multiple news channels report on the exact same event, but there's a reason why we read about them from certain news outlets. And generally speaking, the New York Times hires journalists that write extremely well, Pulitzer Prize winning journalists. And if you can get to that caliber of writing, I have seen people with terrible MCAT scores and GPAs get into amazing medical schools simply because the quality of their writing is superb. So in my mind, the stellar personal statement really boils down to how well can you write.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a really important point. I think that, and it's why we see so much success with coaching, because going at this alone, it just helps to have kind of a mirror, someone to play off, and who's done this before with other folks.